up the reins, and we're going to go ahead and stay out of his mouth, stay out of his mouth, best you can. Okay, yep, hold tight. Yep, 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 push forward, push forward. Yep. Really quick. Just going to hang tight in his mouth and say, well, there is a release for you if you look for it, but this is not the way to look for it. Yep, 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 go nice. Go easy, get out of his mouth. Yep, get out of his mouth. Hold tight. Hold tight, yep. Good, leave him alone. Yep. Hold tight. Yep.
Let's say he's actually fussing more today than when I rode him on Monday or whatever that was.
Good, leave him alone, stay out of his mouth. Yep, try to stay out of his mouth. Good, ask him to walk. Hopefully we can get that without him reacting. Left rein, left rein, left rein. Good. Leave him alone.
Could we go down to barely water? Give us a nice slow one here. A little bit, I feel like I potentially micromanage. Are you seeing that at all? Like I'm, anticipating he's gonna duck, so I'm ready to like pull him out of the.
Yeah, try to give him as much benefit of the doubt as we can.
Right.
Like right now he's not fussing with the bit, but he tells me now that you're messing with it, you're slowing. Yep. So what we're gonna try to do, yep, stay in his way, driving forward, stay in his way, driving forward, stay in his way. As soon as he relaxes, give him all you can give without throwing him away. Yep. 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 Leave him alone. Okay, we're gonna change direction. So what you're gonna do is when you're trotting, like right there we couldn't work on transitions because we had to work on the bit, right? But when you're working on your trotting, let's just say all that's happening, you're gonna look for the best way to get him down to a walk to reward him. I don't know if we found that stop is a good reward for him, because I think he gets a little fire in his feet at a standstill because he gets worried about he should be doing something. So a walk will be more of a reward to him. But you can even let him do a gambler walk, which is he could just kind of wander around. You don't have to keep him on the rail and be controlled. Just let him kind of wander around as a reward. So this way we can find something that he might like to say, see, that's all we needed you to do. Because we got to find a way to tell him he did the right thing and there's something in it for him. Because if he doesn't believe there's something in it for him, he's going to hate being worked with. See, like right now, he's doing fantastic. So we're going to go ahead, after we pass the door, we're going to go ahead and
That's what he's gonna want to do, stick his head in there.
Yeah.
If I get to do that.
Yeah, right? We'll let you look out the door if you do a good job. But no, we'll just create very, very good sour horse.
Yeah, I know.
Yep, get in his way, Yep, good, leave him alone. Good. Go ahead and ask for the trot. He'll probably right off the bat start fussing. We'll just stay in his way until he stops fussing. And we'll try to find a way to break him back down to the walk without him thinking that it's all about fussing. Good. Ask him to walk. Sit heavy on your pockets, gently lift your left rein. Stay in his way. Good. Okay, ask him to trot. Yep. ask him to walk. We're trying to reward no mouth. That's like the goal right now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was good. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to bring him up to the trot. We're gonna try to, if he goes for a gentle stretch, we're not gonna try to make him maintain it. If he goes for a gentle stretch, then we're gonna ask him to walk. And if he, needs to come in, like he chose to stop. See, so he said to us, I kind of would be cool if I could just stop for a minute. That's what we want to do. We want to tell him that he can do whatever he wants, provided that he responds to what we're asking for. Two options. Either make it so he couldn't have pulled on the reins, or held them. One of the two. Like either had the reins long enough that couldn't have happened, or held them tight and said, no, we're not doing that. One of the two could have been okay. Okay, so go ahead and gently ask him to go back on the rail. We're going to take him in the same direction. Okay, go ahead and ask him to trot. Good. Tap the gate. If he doesn't ask the bit, you're going to ask him to walk. Good. Now, see, what you can practice is trot, walk transitions through your body, right? You got him to walk without pulling on him. So if we can get him to understand that he can downward transition without us having to pull on him, well then we're kind of offering him the best deal.
Or up without the legs and stuff. So
Yeah.
far I've like the third time I have to use my legs.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can, he'll just have to, here you go. Good. Yep, just get in his way. Get in his way. Get in his way. Push him forward. Good. Yep, stay in his way as he pulls around on you. Good. Ask him to walk. Yep, stay in his way. Good. So we're not going to let him come in under those conditions because we had to worry about him being all in the mouth coming down to the walk. So anytime you can get him to come down to the walk from the trot as a reward, because he trotted well without messing with the bit, then you can let him wander. If while you're asking for the walk, he decides he's going to do all that walk coming down, then we're not going to let him wander. We're going to keep him working. Yep, just stay in his way. You could even, if you want, just kind of drive him into the bit when he's doing it. Just kind of push him a little bit. Say, really? You want to do that? Because we'll work harder.
Like when he messes, you push him on a little.
Yeah, yeah. Just stay in his way, push him a little harder, and he stops, release everything. Say, see, that's all that you're being punished for. Yeah, and keep it a steady block as opposed to a pull back and forth. So there's a little bit of pulling going on instead of a steady block. When he's not fussing, we're going to ask him to stop. Yep, just stay in his way when he's acting like that. Good, let him walk. All right. Okay, ask him to trot. Good. Yep, stay in his way. Stay in his way, stay in his way. Yep. Yep, try to get out of his way a little bit. Yep, stay in his way, stay in his way. Push him forward a little bit. Yep, yep, yep. Get out of his way. Oh, so it's kind of like a timing thing. Yep, yep. Get out of his way. Good, let him walk. You can. Good, good. That was a nice transition. And it was a quiet with the mouth. So like he could, if he wanted to, just let him kind of do whatever he wants for a setup. Yeah. Until that. Okay. He's asked twice. Can I come see you? And I can come alone too.
But not let them stop at the gate, right?
Right, yep. Yeah.
He's like, where can I stop?
Yeah, which is nice because he didn't want, when we first met him, he didn't want to stop. He had too much fire in his feet. So now that he wants to stop, and he's stopping quiet, holding the bit. So I'm going to say, I mean, we'll let him go another week in this bit, but I have a feeling that it's more behavioral than, because he can just stand there and hold the bit. He's not big enough to take it out of his mouth right now.
Yeah.
We just want to teach him that we're only going to bother you when we tell you something, and if you don't react like an idiot, we'll get through it fine.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question, which is that, you know, her big issue was the cancer. So if we're just walking, like at what point are you gonna look for that again? Try to get him in better shape, just walking through walking.
Yeah. So this weekend we'll add the cancer, but right now we're not even really mastering the trauma. So there's no sense in adding speed. So it's unfortunate that what we want to fix, we have to fix by backtracking. You know, can't get to the brakes until we take the tire off.
So do you think we should only have people in the riding arena? Because I have the thought of you going on the trail right up the back hill,
Sure.
the hill, walking up the hill because of his
Yeah,
muscle.
sure.
We have a nice hill in the back that we walk up and down. Because I feel, I mean,
So even there, he's got pressure on that bit. He's not upset. He put pressure on him himself, and he's not all like, "Ow, this is killing me."
I mean, because I felt pretty confident, you know, about like doing a trail ride. I didn't feel like he would do that, but you never know. I guess he was a young horse, maybe he has no experience. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can ride him to a certain point, and if you feel that he's turning into a tight spring underneath you,
Yeah.
then you can. What I would do if I felt like he was becoming a tight spring, I'd try to get ahead of it and turn around and go back,
Yeah.
and then do approach and retreat to where that spring started to happen. If you get yourself in trouble and he's already a wound up spring, I would get off. Or since I don't think he has a good enough backup to say, back him up 10 feet and then turn around. You don't want to turn around where he's already in trouble,
Yeah.
because then whatever's worrying him is now going to get behind him. So we want to make sure that we always back him away. We help him with approach and retreat, and then we turn him away and go back, and then we keep finding wherever he's having trouble and just keep chipping at it. But he seems like a pretty solid. I mean, he has worry, but I think he is more worried. I don't think it's environmental worry.
Yeah, it's more like he doesn't know what he's supposed to do.
to encourage any delays. But none of that. I said it just sounded urgent, and you're gonna scare your horse. Like, why? Why do I have to do this now? You know. So if you keep it just simple, there's so much. I mean, we're gonna do that with Rio later. Like Rio can come out and play later. I worked with him this morning, but he can come out and play later.
Yeah, I'm flexible on when we're coming to trailer.
No.
You said Thursday evening you'd be working with.
Yeah, I just happened to have the morning off, so that's why it worked out that way. But by no means is it's a totally different lesson anyway.
Yeah.
But I always say when you get off of a horse and you unpack them and walk away, if they follow you, that's your feedback. If they take off, that's your feedback. And luckily for me, after I unpacked Rio, he followed me. So.
Aww. So is this about how much I should do?
Yeah. I mean, because he was fussing so bad, what we can do once we get past that, and it's just promising him, we'll get out of your mouth and you stop acting this way. Then we can start asking for the faster and slower gaits. Often why I like the one rein cue is because I can just raise the rein as a downward transition. I don't have to get in their mouth and say, I need you to slow down. I can just say, would you please slow down?
Yeah, I just need to get that in my own test. And I can do it on Chino, he's doing really good. So.
It's that they like it so much better. They're like, well, why